So today I'm back in the 2024 Mazda CX-90. Now, last August I got to review this vehicle right when it was released, or right after, soon after it was released. If you would like to go back and watch that full review, now is probably the greatest time to do that, because this is going to be my first car review that's not a full walk around car review. I'm going to talk about my experience the second time around, because to be honest, when you're in a vehicle for a week, you get to try it out, you get to test it, you get to drive it around, you get to drive it on road, in town, out of town, on the highway, do all sorts of things with it, and I have a blast with it. I really do. But it's only a week long, and then you're on to the next one, or you're back to your own vehicle, whatever have you. In this case, I get my second go at the 2024 CX-90, and this time I was more focused on the driving experience, because if you watch any of the promotional content for this specific car, Mazda talks about how much they focused on the driving experience, how much different it is, how much they put the experience of you actually driving the car. They put a lot of thought into this. On top of that, they put a lot of thought into the aesthetics of the car to make it not only attractive, but make it like you want to drive it. And also, like, yes, this is a plug-in hybrid. This specific model is the plug-in hybrid. And it gets you upwards of 26 miles of range. That will vary on your use. It'll vary on your climate. It'll, like any electric car, that range is just rated range. But that said, they focused on a lot of things with this car, and they made you want to be in it. And that is where I'm coming from on this specific review. I will put a link at the end as well as in the description to my full review, and I still stand by that because I still really like this car. But let's talk about this one in a little bit different light. So like I said, welcome back to techgooch, ladies and gentlemen. 2024 Mazda CX-90. There's a lot of things I really like about this car. Now, first of all, right now I'm in all electric mode, 26 miles of all electric range, but I can pop out of that by clicking on this button right here, and she fires into full hybrid mode now. I get the benefits of the gas engine coupled with the electric engine or electric motor, and so I can get a lot of horsepower and giddy up, but still be fairly efficient for a 3-row, fairly large SUV. Now, this one has, a lot of space in it. When you fill it up with people, the cargo space behind the rear seat isn't huge. You can get, if you watch my full review, I think I got 3 suitcases in, carry-on size suitcases, while maintaining the seat all the way back and all the way up and everything like it is. Obviously, if you don't fill this cabin with people, you definitely have a lot more cargo room. And if you don't have people and you're just looking to actually transport goods, there's actually quite a bit of room in here. I should know I actually transported a desk today in here. Now, the thing about this is when you get into the vehicle, it's very inviting. If you're used to Mazda's kind of their heads-up display, they have a really small heads-up display. It literally just tells me the speed and things like that. Then I have my touch panel here. It is a touch panel, although it is set far enough back where you're not really wanting to touch it so much. You're going to use the Mazda controls, the actual radio controls down here. And it actually is fairly intuitive. If you want to really see all this, definitely head over to my full review, and I go into the radio and show you how this all controls and everything like that. But it works really well, and it keeps you sitting back, attention focused, and you can just rest your arm right on the armrest and just kind of cycle through the menu options on the radio itself. Now, it does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so you don't have to worry about running your cables unless you need to charge your phone. You do have a small portion right up here for that as well. But that said, everything about this car is everything that you come to expect from Mazda. You get the actual driver information cluster here is very information focused on information that you want. You have your speedometer, you have in this case, because it's a plug-in hybrid, you can see how much power versus how much charge you're actually putting. So if you're actually applying the brake or slowing down, it will be charging that battery a little bit to the recharge cycle. And then on the right-hand side, they have this dual fuel gauge. On the left-hand side is our battery meter. On the right-hand side is our gas tank. And real quick and easy, I can see how much electric range I have and how much driving range I have with gas. Right below it literally tells me 22 miles right now on full electric, 270 miles if I go on gas. So, you know, you couple that together, hey, great. But that is where I'm sitting. Now, it also in the middle of the gauge gives you your efficiency. So how many miles per gallon? Right now I'm sitting at about 25 miles to the gallon, and that's going to be based on me using the gas engine a lot. And then how many miles per kilowatt hour if I was actually just using the electric range. So you can see everything that you want to see right up front, the information that'll tell you exactly what you need to know. And then whenever you're on here, there is a little white square box that tells you the speed of the maximum or the speed limit of the road that you're traveling on. Now, that's pretty much only if it knows it. It does disappear from time to time. But second thing is, if I was Mazda, I would put actually a little speed limit sign. Everybody's used to seeing the speed limit sign rather than a square white box with a number in it. So to make it stand out a little bit more. Otherwise, once you know it, you know it. But that is something, I'm trying to be as picky as possible about it, but that is something that I did notice as well. Now also while driving, there are these My Drive modes right in front of the shift lever where I can actually choose to go between sport, normal, EV, and off-road, which will adapt, you know, everything about the vehicle for that specific item, right? If you just want to drive normal, great. If you want to go in EV mode, be as efficient as possible, there's that. Sport mode to get a little sporty, and then your off-road mode, you know, if you're off of the paved roads, it just adjusts that. But the nice thing is every time you go to one of those settings, it gives you a nice little motion on the display. Everything about this vehicle is very centric on experience. Now, Mazda uses Bose for their premium audio system. This CX-90 does have that Bose audio system in it. It sounds great, it does. I'm not gonna say it's the best sounding system I've ever heard, but at the same point, it's not a $100,000 car. So, you know, where this one comes in it, this Bose system is as good as the Bose systems that I used to have in my trucks years ago. They sound great. They obviously sound better now. They're even putting more drivers and stuff in here. So, but that is the premium audio system. More than anything, it's a vehicle that's fun to drive. Now, I will say this as well. I just got done reviewing another three-row SUV from Lexus, the new TX series, and I thoroughly enjoyed that vehicle. This one is also a three-row SUV. However, I don't believe the turning radius on this car is as good as some of the other three-row SUVs on the market, namely the one I just got done reviewing, and this is why I noticed it. It's not a bad turning radius. It really isn't. For as big of a vehicle as this is, it actually is quite good. However, it doesn't turn quite on the dime as the TX did for me. So that is something I did notice. So that's something that I did want to bring up as well. Lastly, about the driving experience is comfort, and I would say how quiet the cabin is. This is actually a fairly quiet vehicle. It's not the quietest I've been in, but it is, for what it is, it actually is quite quiet. Comfort-wise, the seats are actually very comfortable. Now, in the front, you do have heated seats and ventilated seats on this specific model that I am driving, because this is one of the higher trims. But that said, it's not a vehicle that you get uncomfortable in. And maybe that's the best way to say it. There's lumbar support in the seats. The seats are cushiony enough but supportive enough that you don't feel like you have to get out of here in 2 to 3 hours. There are vehicles I've been in that every so often you just got to get up and get out because you feel contained and maybe you get a little stiff. This one's not too bad at all. So this one would be something that, or a vehicle that I would definitely be willing to drive long distance. And that's always usually what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a vehicle specifically like this that has as much room and capacity that it has, well, I'm probably going to want to drive it for a longer distance. So one thing that I haven't actually done, I'm going to kick it back into electric mode. And I wanted to see what the power difference is between the Giddy Up on just electric versus the hybrid, because usually you get the gas engine involved, it's got more power. Oh, let's see. So there's something to know right there. If you're in EV mode and you step on it, it will kick the gas engine on to give you that power that you need. This is something, if you watched my previous video on the Lexus TX, in EV mode, it was kind of a dog. It got up there, but it was not a super powerful electric motor. In gas mode, it had quite a bit of power. This vehicle, like I said, puts the driver focus forward, so you don't have to worry about flipping it between the two to make sure you have enough power to pass somebody on the highway, or to giddy up and go from a stop sign or whatever, if something's coming up behind you or something. This will automatically do it for you. So like right now I'm in EV mode, but as soon as I stomp on it, it goes my drive mode temporarily unavailable. Literally tells me that, hey, what you're doing is causing this to kick out of EV mode temporarily while we apply the power. That said, if you don't need to step on it, I'm in EV mode, getting up and going, and it stays in EV mode. There's plenty of power, but when you need it, it will apply power for you. That's actually pretty awesome because it, again, focuses on the driver. I want to end probably similarly to how I ended before. What do I actually think of this vehicle? Now that I have 2 weeks in the CX-90 under my belt, what do I actually think? I really like it. If you've watched my videos before, you know me personally, I prefer a larger touch panel that's a little bit closer to me that I can control. But I do know that most people don't. I mean, maybe a lot of people don't. And out of all of the control systems that I've ever used, this Mazda control system is one of my favorite. I would argue between the Mazda and the BMW, I love their control systems. So I have no problem with this. I have no problem with this staying. It is a lot of real estate that is taking up right here. However, for what it is, I really like this vehicle. And it's got plenty of cargo space to boot. Like I said, I just dropped the seats down and I was able to stick a whole desk in here. So all in all, I don't have a whole lot of bad things to say other than the small things that I've said so far. Yes, I wish there was a bigger screen, but then again, I'm a screen guy. I like the larger screens, and not everybody does, but I do. It does have the 360 camera. It's got all these features that I love. It's got a panoramic roof. It's a great vehicle. So if you're looking for a 3-row SUV, and specifically if you're looking for a plug-in hybrid, or you're definitely interested in a plug-in hybrid, go to your local Mazda dealer and try driving the CX-90. I don't think you'll be disappointed, because for where this sits in the lineup, it's a solid vehicle, and it's a joy to drive, and to be honest, it's a joy to look at because it's an attractive vehicle. So that is the 2024 Mazda CX-90. Again, I will put links to my full review that I did before in the description, as well as here at the end. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment below or reach out. Go to techgooch.com. You can get a hold of me directly. So thank you folks for stopping by. Thanks for watching here to the end of the video, and we'll catch you back here on Tech Gooch for another future video review. More vehicles lined up. Love them as always. Thanks for watching.